Welcome to the model railway room. Let me show you what's going on in here. Let's start with Catcot. It's about 5 feet long in a sort of display case, built-in lighting, photographic back scene. Good lights, important. Picks a bit of 1950s England. It probably was never really like this, but you know, it's all about escapism really. There's the crossing keeper's cottage. The person living in there used to open and close the gates as the trains came through. This is actually based on a real building. It really exists down in Somerset Levels. Trains have long gone, but the building's still there, the house, albeit painted white now. And it's next to the canal, a bit overgrown here. Next to it you have a little halt, all built from scratch, bits and pieces. And again the canal in the foreground, lots of boggy stuff. Moving along we have Ivor Peters Bentley and a branch train. Not much going on there, branch goods. Maybe they snuck off to the pub. If you look at the back scene beyond, you can see the Somerset Levels. The back scene was made from a photograph I took using panorama tools and merged in Photoshop and printed out sticky back plastic. I think it creates the feeling of space. Other angle here, looking down the track. And obviously it's, you know, not that big really. It fits in the back of a car on the odd occasion I want to do a show. A little micro Lout called Ironstone depicts East Midlands iron ore workings. It's just over 2 feet, 2'6", something like that, depicting an ironstone quarry. East Midlands, literally trains come in, back under the hopper, and they get loaded. I actually load them live. I pour stuff in, fill the wagons up. Kids seem to enjoy it, some of the adults do too. Very simple layout. Notice static grass. Photographic back scene as before. Built-in lighting makes it nice and bright. Moving back. That's Ironstone. Here's Brew Street. 2 feet by 1 foot by 1 foot. Little exercise in quick building. This one took me about 2 weeks. I had most of the buildings already made up, so that helped enormously. Just a matter of plonking it down and blending it all in with weathering. Quite a few of these buildings are ready-made ones. You can buy them, Hornby and Backman, but just weathering them down a bit makes them a little bit more convincing. It's a little sort of brewery depot, I think. Not quite sure, but it seems a lot of beer barrels around. And of course, we have a brewery name there, so that's this one. Tracks Pico, weathered in. Lots of DAS modelling clay I used to help blend the sleepers in. This is a bit of a grotty old pub. Not sure you want to go there, but the beer's awful. And the track plan is literally just an in and out back kind of thing. Anyway, that is Brew Street. My current project, a little colliery, very much in planning stage, hence I plonk buildings and wagons down and try and visualise it all to get an idea of what to have. The baseboard is very similar design to Brew Street and laser cut kit from Tin Horn. Anyway, I thought let's join the two together, so the idea is that this one can run through the other little Lout if I want it to, or not, or it can run on its own. Again, it depicts the end of a line, probably, all subject to change, ending up a little small colliery, run around loop. Again, wagons just posed here and there to try and get an idea of a feeling. No vanishing points, you see, you can't see the exit. That's the theory anyway. So no name for this one yet, but no doubt it'll appear in the popular press in due course. Polbrook Gurney. Another little micro layout. This one's a whopping 3 feet by 2 feet, based on a Bristol coalfield which stopped, so finished back in the 70s. This is my recreation of it. Rose tinted probably, heavily compressed, but it's atmosphere, I think. Little Cornish pump engine built from scratch. Other building is a mixture of scratch. The pit head on top is Bachmann ready-made. I think you can pick that up on eBay if you look around. The building below is scratch built. Steam winding building is also scratch built, based on one that used to be at Ludlow's in Glastonbury, mirror image. Signal box is ready made but repainted, modified a bit. Move along, we have the pub, Bedant and Armchair, a quality boozer, frequented with by very boring people as a rule. Very popular in Keyboard Warrior Monthly, I believe. They all go there and get very upset and moan about stuff and drink their warm flat beer. Horrible place. And if we look around, we have all the branch trains come in. Doesn't seem to be a crew. I wonder where the crew are. They're probably in the pub, but I'm sure it wouldn't be their kind of pub. Little halt behind. That's actually a Hornby building. It's a limited edition, ready-made, painted up. The track is a soldered construction, code 55 rail, making it really lightweight. Loading gauge. That's a Hornby austerity repainted. Foreground I've used C&L components, which gives a nice track if you've got the patience to do it. And the cobbles here, focus, just a biro jabbed into clay. Anyway, that is Polbrook Gurney Colliery. Here we have my oldest layout. It started it back in the late 70s, or about 79 I think, depicting a outpost, the Somerset and Dorset line. For me this is a big layout. It's about 11 feet long I think, depicting a branch line terminus deep down in the West Country near Bridgewater. The layout was stored in my parents' loft for years, for about 15 years, and I resurrected it about 15 years ago and rebuilt it, widened it, added the harbour foreground. New back scene, finished the buildings off. This pub here is new, or I say new, it's about 10 years old, and it really is probably a horrible pub to have a drink in. Looks a bit rough. The only lunch they do sandwiches. They do knuckle sandwiches apparently. I'm not sure that we want too much of that. Moving further down the layout, past the harbour. We've got little Rhine, or weird thing, and it's below sea level here. The bog, it's the bog. Allotment. Railways until about 30 years ago, you'd often see allotments by the track side, but obviously health and safety, because I'm sure a huge number of railmen who rented the land injured themselves, I'm sure, so you don't see this anymore, sadly, but back in the day you often saw this, allotments. There's the goods yard in the background. Low relief buildings at the back. I'm not convinced by these, to be honest with you. I don't really like low relief, and you can see as soon as you get an angle like this they don't look very good, so I may well address those at some stage, probably just get rid of them I think, but that's only my gripe. Back scene painted on hardboard rather badly. Little ganger's trolley there. Moving around, we have the engine shed area, Coomwich signal box, a load of abandoned wagons behind. And you've got the shed behind here. And beyond that, we have the Brutty level crossing, of course. This crossing is called Ankle Bend, I called it. Don't know where the name came from. There's a real one called Elbow Corner. Maybe it's influenced by that. Notice the bus, broken down, I think. It's been there a rather long time. In the background we have the Royal Oak Inn. Quite a nice pub, I gather. There's a bowling alley on the side there. If this pub's still open these days, I imagine that'd be probably a restaurant, but I imagine it probably in real life would have closed down and become a Lidl or something or other. So, yes, that's pretty well it. The Louts so far. I did have more, but I sold them, so it was just getting a bit silly. Anyway, that's Coomwich. Or Cummage, apparently, is how it's pronounced down the West Country. I should really build a back scene to go around the end. I think it'd be more convincing. Alright, that's all folks. See you soon.